All right. Welcome back. This is episode 121 of the Malapert Smark Wrestling Podcast. We've been talking wrestling here for 120 episodes. Man, Vlad, the wrestling expert, you've been on every episode. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. What's wrong with me?
You got to be in the Hall of Fame eventually, man. If you don't make it to the Hall of Fame with the Malapert Smark Podcast, there'll be some kind of controversy. But
yeah, I would have been caught. I would have been caught doping on juice, or they sent me to prison, or I bet on our podcast to lose, or something like something Pete Rose related. I don't know.
The doping one is possible, because how the hell else would you be able to make it every week on this podcast without fail, unless you were on something?
I'm like,
You're
no,
on something.
Cal Ripken wasn't on anything, right? As far as we know. So I'm the Cal Ripken. I'm the Cal Ripken of the Malapert Sparks.
All right. Well, listen, I got to introduce Robert as well. Robert is here. The Frozen Asian, thank you for being here again. Not on every episode, but on a good chunk of them. I don't know. I think I would estimate like at least 75% of the episodes, something like that. But
I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah, you have more of a life. You're not like me and Vlad. We just watch wrestling.
Oh man, I don't know about that, but okay.
But you didn't watch Dynamite this week, right? That was the one thing you omitted because you're famous and busy and everything, which is it's understandable. It's a lot of wrestling to watch, man. It's like a job.
It is,
but that's okay.
The Frozen Asian is a big time moniker now. He's using that moniker now to take himself all the way to Hollywood.
Yeah, and we let him use that moniker. You know, we could have made him like pay us every time he goes out and uses the Frozen Asian, but we're like, no, we're like AEW. Go ahead and work the indies if you want to be the Frozen Asian on the side. It's okay. Just don't get hurt like these guys do on AEW, where they go off and work for the indies and break their ass and shit. But okay. Anyways, let's get to the week in wrestling. We're going to cover everything since Monday. I know Monday Night Raw is a while ago at this point now. It's Saturday night. We usually record on Sundays, but it's Saturday. But that's okay. That only means one thing: more views. And that's what we live for. By the way, we're on the brink of 300 YouTube subscribers. So if anyone out there can do us a favor and hit subscribe so we can get to 300. We're on our march to 300. Our goal is 500. But for right now, let's start small. 300. Anyone can help us out. Hopefully we'll get there this week. That would be nice. I will celebrate that. But for the moment, we're going to cover a week in wrestling for anybody out there who needs something to listen to, needs some entertainment. If you're at work or have one of those jobs where you could listen to podcasts, put us on. We're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify too, if you want to save data. But all right, I got pictures today for you YouTube viewers, so I'm going to only be showing pictures, not much video, but the pictures have been doing us good in terms of like not getting copyright strikes and stuff. So we're going to start with our main topic today, which was Solo and Roman. But to get there, I have to mention that Cody Rhodes did go out there and talk to start the show with his WWE title, completely undeserved. But Solo did come out and mention to Cody that he needed a rematch, but he has to deal with Roman Reigns first, because Roman was the one who fucked it up for him. But look at Cody with his smug shit face. God, he pissed me off so bad today. But they were going to...
confused. Can I just hold on? You said Cody doesn't deserve to have the title?
No, man, he was about to lose. If it wasn't for Roman Reigns, he would not be champion. That's a fact. That's why...
It's an ODQ match. It's an ODQ match. That's an ODQ match. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but why did Roman even get involved to help Cody? Anyways, we've discussed this.
It wasn't to help Cody, it was to screw Solo.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, Solo, we're going to get to that right now. That's the topic of this segment. But the Cody thing is just an aside. They were going to whoop Cody's ass right here, but KO came out with 2 steel chairs to protect him. But so they ended up backing off. Anyways, they told him, we're going to go deal with Roman, and then we'll come back to you later. So that's what happened in this little segment. But that review of that whole thing with what was going on with Cody and KO in the ring, we're going to cover that on a separate segment, and that's also on our SmackDown review if you guys want to look at our YouTube community posts. we have a full comprehensive SmackDown review we're going to release on there. But for right now, I'm going to stick to Solo and Roman. So here's Solo taking his boys to the back. He's like, all right, don't worry about that. We'll deal with it later. And then this is the end of the show, 20 minutes to go, something like that. And Solo was going to go out to the ring. He got tired of waiting for Roman, so he was going to go call his ass out. And he was pretty sure he'd be there. Here's Solo coming out. Here's some nice pictures. Every time Solo comes to the ring, man, I'm telling you. Hopefully he deals with this Roman thing pretty soon, but hopefully it's just quick so he could get back to getting that WWE title. But here he is. He's telling the whole world to acknowledge him.
What are you talking about? The chances of Solo winning the title over Roman or Cody is I don't even know. It's negative.
Oh, gosh.
He's just got to get Roman out of the way. Anyways, Roman, he has some balls today, and he did actually show up.
Oh, he has it today? Okay.
Yeah, today. Where has he been for weeks? For weeks, Solo has been doing this and taking over the bloodline. Anyways, let me continue and finish telling you what happened here before I tell the world what your review of this segment was, and I get some comments from you guys. Here's Roman, and then Solo sends Tama Tonga first to get cracked by Roman. So, and then Tonga Loa too. He's gonna get sent into the steel steps right there. Slow motion of that. And what else does he do? I think he smashes the steel steps on Tama Tonga as well. So these guys are no match for him. Jacob Fatu is not even there, so I guess he got hurt, and I still don't know if that was real or not. But anyways,
he's
not there today. And Roman and Solo face off, and they actually do get into it. And Solo, what happens here? Roman's gonna Superman punch him, basically, and his boys, the Tongas, are gonna get Solo out of the ring here, and they're gonna retreat, and he's not gonna get Superman punched. Here's Tonga Loa. Man, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa against Roman Reigns was not really a fair fight. I don't think they really had a chance there. But they get Solo out of the ring. There's that Ulafala necklace that is the tribal chief, and Roman picks it up, and he's going to get attacked by Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, and Solo's going to come out of this scene with the necklace, you see? So he grabs that, but he leaves them to get beaten up, and that's how we end the show today. So Solo's leaving with the necklace, and here's Roman Reigns with a Superman punch on Tonga Loa. And to end the segment, I think he spears Tama Tonga as well. Oh no, he spears Tonga Loa. Here he is. All right. So there it is. All right. We get and he also beat up Tonga Loa with the steel chair mercilessly to end the show.
Sometimes I have to admit I confuse which one's which. Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. I have to be honest. When they say their names, I'm like, it's the one with the eye patch. Yeah, I know that now, but at times during the show, I'm like, wait, which one is that again? I know it's one of them, but anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. Continue.
All right, well, I got some reviews from this SmackDown angle here today. I got Vlad 2 thumbs up, so you like this, and also Robert 2 thumbs up as well on our Malapert Smark rating system. That's the highest it goes right now, so good ratings from you guys. I gave it a thumbs up. I would have liked to have seen some dialogue here or something to talk about what's been going on, but they just fought, and it's going to just be left hanging till next week. Okay. But all right, Vlad, I'm going to give you 2 solid minutes to talk here. Let me pull up our clock. And there you go. All right, the floor is yours. Let's hear your review of this segment and what's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, this was a hot segment. I mean, again, the crowd reaction for Roman is off the charts. I mean, just again say that this guy was the heel of all heels for 3 years straight, and now he's basically the ultimate babyface, right? It flipped just like that. It was masterfully done, tremendously done. And he didn't even have to be there. He didn't have to. All you had to do is lose at WrestleMania.
Yeah, masterfully done. What did they even do? But okay.
Well, they did a couple things. Obviously, they took him off TV. They put Solo.
That's true.
They put Solo in the in the position, and brought in all these quote unquote hooligans, these criminals to be part of this new bloodline. They beat up Paul Heyman, the wise man. pretty badly. Anytime Paul Heyman takes any bumps is a historic moment. So they did a lot of different things here. And then obviously Solo was saying that he's the tribal chief, and then that if Roman has anything, to say about it, he can come and, meet him face to face, which he obviously now has done. But I think the only issue I had with this, so Roman basically beat up 3 guys on his own, but this same group has been like demolishing people prior to this. Like they've been leaving people laying for like weeks, right? They beat up Randy Orton, they beat up Kevin Owens, they beat up Cody Rhodes, they beat them in a 3-on-3 match. But Roman comes out there and just lays waste basically to all. I mean, definitely the two Tongans he lays waste to, and Solo was basically getting beat up too. He just got crawled out of the ring, all kind of talking crap while he was nowhere near Roman. So I don't really particularly like that part of it because it didn't make sense as much as it should have. But overall, this is a hot segment. It's hard to complain when the crowd is going absolute apeshit. But yeah, I have to throw in a little criticism. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right, Robert, your 2 thumbs up as well. You want to give any comments about this?
Yes, I loved it. This was the reason why I watched SmackDown. This was the segment I was looking forward to the most.
Sure.
And I was pretty much just waiting for this, right? The other segments prior to this were just okay. The Cody one was decent, but this is what I was waiting for. They saved it to the end.
Yes.
Solo did a fine job as an interim tribal chief, but he just look, man, he just doesn't have the aura and presence of Roman Reigns. So there can only. I'm sorry, yeah, it is what it is. So and then clearly the crowd, basically agrees. They've been wanting him to come back, the real tribal chief to come back. So they got their moment. It finally happened. As far as him demolishing the whole new bloodline, that probably wouldn't have happened like that if Jacob Fatu was there.
That's
but
right.
Hey, I'll take it. And one thing I do appreciate about this segment is they didn't make Solo look like a punk. Well, after Roman Reigns beat up the 2 henchmen and Roman went into the ring to face Solo didn't retreat. Well, at least not initially.
That's true.
Right? Most heels at that point would have found a way to escape, but they actually did tussle, right? So I'll give him props for that. He didn't back down. He actually tried to fight Roman. Didn't go his way, but
that's true.
We'll see what happens from there.
He did come face to face with Roman. There was a moment where it was pretty dramatic.
And they didn't make him look like a punk in this segment. So I'll give props to that too, because that's usually not how it works in wrestling. But yeah, I love this segment. 2 thumbs up for me.
All right. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Do you guys think Roman's going to take back the bloodline, or he's going to try to take back the bloodline? Is that going to happen, or is he just going to be the opposition to the bloodline, quote unquote?
I think he's going to try to recruit the Usos back to his side, the original bloodline minus Solo. And then
so this is going to be a long-term deal with him against Solo, huh?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm guessing this would culminate, maybe not necessarily culminate in Survivor Series, but it will at least this will at least extend that to that PLE and probably further.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with what Robert just said. That sounds about right.
All right. Well, unless anyone has any more comments, I'm going to move on from this. What do you think?
No, yeah, we can move on.
All right, then. This was yesterday, as we speak, Friday the 9th. So I'm going to jump back to Monday, August 5th, and we're going to do Judgment Day business because there was a lot of stuff that happened at SummerSlam with the Judgment Day, basically a whole breakup of what was a dominant stable from at times they struggled, at times they looked silly, but for the most part they were champions. They had tag team titles, world titles, women's world title, men's world title, and they broke up at SummerSlam. Basically Dominic turned on Rhea and Finn Balor turned on Damian. So here's the fallout on Monday Night Raw. their very next show. So Damian came out. He didn't get the opening spot on the show, but he did get a spot to come out and talk to Finn. He didn't find him in the back. I don't know if he was looking for him. That was one thing that I was kind of criticizing in my head, was like, did you go look for him or what? I would have been like tearing through the stadium looking for this guy. But okay, so Finn Balor comes on TV. He's in a dark room somewhere, which I really like this scene. I don't know if anyone had any comments about this, but if you want to jump in with anything before I give you your time to talk, feel free, by the way. But I really like this. I thought it was cool. He did an explanation, just in general terms. I'm not going to say everything he said exactly, but he explained that at the beginning when they teamed up, they were supposed to be, all for one, no leader, everyone was equal, and then eventually their heads got big because they were champions, and then that's why Finn ousted them, and he introduces the new Judgment Day, the new group, and everyone was like, come on. So everyone's there, the old Judgment Day, with Liv Morgan instead of Rhea. So that was a cool moment, I thought, and here's Damian pissed off, which I thought was great. Anyways, later in the night, it was supposed to be JD against Damian. If I could just give a summary of what happened real quick, not a detailed summary, but Damian did get to speak to. Here's the mighty World Tag Team Champion, JD McDonough, one half of the World Tag Team Champions. He's taking on Damian Priest here.
Mighty.
Well, he did pretty good in this match.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say JD is mighty, but that's...
Hey, well, he went up against Damian Priest here, and he did pretty good. But anyways, here's the end of it. Damian was going to get a choke slam on him and finish the match, and Finn Balor came from the back and stopped him and attacked Damian. And basically, all of Judgment Day was in the ring to gang up on Damian, and they still couldn't even get him out of the ring 5-on-1, basically. Damian basically fought them all off. Here's him throwing Dominic Mysterio out of the ring after he threw JD out of the ring. And he's going to get a dramatic moment where he goes face-to-face with Finn Balor, which I really love this. I love any moment like this in wrestling. So I thought this was cool. There's some dramatic facial expressions with the boys. But I think he gets distracted by... Well, he's going to give him a razor's edge, and then Liv Morgan pulls him off. And there's a moment where... You see, this is a perfect use of Liv Morgan. Because if you don't like her as a women's wrestler, this is like the perfect use of her as a heel sort of manager that can't get hit. He can't hit her. So here she is after Dominic Mysterio gets in the ring, and he's there she is stomping on him, joining in on the battle, joining in on the festivities, laughing. So this is the Scarlet role. This is what Scarlet was supposed to be if Karrion Kross and Scarlet worked out. But there she is with the role where she's egging her boyfriend on to beat up Damian. And then Rhea's music hits, and they're stunned, and she sprints to the ring, and she actually, Liv Morgan and Dominic try to escape, but Rhea catches her and slams her into the ring post, which I thought looked pretty good, so this was a big pop from the crowd. They were happy to see that. But how did the segment end? Dominic pulls Liv Morgan away, and then JD McDonough is left in the ring to take the beating from Damian and Rhea, and I think it ends with Damian and Rhea hugging, and they stand tall to end the segment. So there's the fallout. All right, I'm going to start with Robert. Robert gave this segment 1 thumbs up, a regular thumbs up for the Judgment Day fallout from SummerSlam. You got any comments you want to make?
It was good. I just think that this happened a little too late, because there's been the feud between Damian and Finn Balor has been hinted at for I don't know how long now. They keep making it look like they're about to have a fallout, and then they don't, and then they hint at it again, and then they don't have it, and then they finally happen. So it was a good segment. I just thought they should have pulled the trigger on this sooner, especially before he won the championship, because I think that tainted his reign personally for me. Because Damian, I think he's cool, but just the timing was off because he was seemingly the leader of this very dysfunctional group that that couldn't, stay consistent as far as like victories and stuff like that. But yeah, overall I did like this segment. And I don't know how this new Judgment Day will work out with under Finn Balor's. Well, they said there's no leaders, so according to Finn Balor, there's not supposed to be leaders. So I don't know how they're gonna function. We'll see, but this is a decent start to their feud.
But did you like the new Judgment Day stable? What do you think of it?
Too soon to say for me. I don't know. Ask me again in a few weeks.
Okay.
But this is a good start.
All right. Well, I could jump to Vlad. Go ahead. You got 2 minutes on the clock for you. If you don't want to use the whole thing, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I wasn't as excited as Kahan was about like the whole Finn and Damien's part, or like introducing this new group. I mean, it's the same group that it's kind of been, and they're all kind of been jobbed for the last 6 months. So it's like, how excited can you be that this is a group? You can't. So I think the part that I like the most is when Rhea caught up with Liv, because that was a great moment. That was a great moment in the show because the crowd was really into. That's the part the crowd really cared about. It seemed like, because they were really going crazy for that, and really disappointed when Dom pulled Liv out of harm's way when she was about to be, I don't know, I guess thrown through the table. I think that's what she was trying to do, right? Or yeah, I think that's what it was. But I think this is a good feud for Damien in the sense that this should get him back, at least maybe on some sort of footing where he's now not in this kind of, like Robert said, group that's kind of floundering, not going anywhere, and now he's just a single on his own, first real feud where he's clearly the baby face. And we'll see where it goes from there. I mean, I think Damien has a lot of potential. I think he could still be a champion again in this company. I'm not saying it's over for him. Like, that's the one thing I said when he was going to lose to Gunther. He could still be champion again. He's got to develop a couple things, and I think this will be telling in the next 6 months to a year what happens with him. Rhea's already a star, so no, they don't have to do anything. There's nothing that has to be done. She's already the best of the best as far as women wrestling goes. But Damien, we'll see. We shall see.
All right. Well, my rating on this was 2 thumbs up. If anyone wants to go to our YouTube community post and check out our complete comprehensive ratings on this, but I just enjoyed it. So this is just a liked, basically not like a review of whether it's good or not. I enjoyed it. I liked it, so I gave it 2 thumbs up, man. I love Finn Balor in this. I like the whole story. I think the whole reason for the turn was really good, and I'm liking that it's just really exciting and fiery. So, but I'm gonna move on from that. We gotta move on to other things from Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna move on to the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre stuff, which is not over. CM Punk lost that match. Drew McIntyre won the match, but here he is coming out to the ring, babyface as ever, signing autographs and stuff. CM Punk, that is, and he was putting himself over, talking about how he just did a great job just finishing the match. He was proud of himself that he, came back from injury. And then Seth Rollins' music hit, and Seth Rollins comes to the ring. He got hit with the go to sleep by CM Punk at the match, right? So I guess there's lingering beef from before too. So obviously these guys want to fight. Punk is cleared medically. So basically Seth Rollins just comes out, takes his shirt off, grabs the mic and says now's the time for their fight, for him to get beat down. So they were going to continue. It looked like CM Punk was ready to fight when Drew McIntyre came out of nowhere in the crowd and just incessantly talks shit to CM Punk, basically, about that he's still got the wristband and everything, and CM Punk just couldn't take it, and he just got really pissed off and had to go after Drew, and he left Seth Rollins in the ring, basically, and so that's going to continue. He tried to find him in the back, but Adam Pearce said that he escorted Drew McIntyre out of the building. So before we move on to what happened to Seth Rollins, let's just stick to what happened with the fact that Drew and Punk are gonna continue their feud and what happened here with Drew McIntyre and the promo he cut, basically being an asshole. So I'm gonna start with Vlad here. Vlad's rating on this segment was just a thumbs up. So you gave this segment a thumbs up for just Punk and Drew. All right, we're gonna move on to the Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins stuff in the next segment, but if we're gonna stick to just thinking about Punk and Drew, so you gave it a thumbs up. All right. Any comments you want to make here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much I could say on this. This was just I like that it's continuing. It should continue. It's been the hottest feud for the longest time, and I'm happy that it looks like they've kind of pushed Seth away from this feud. It looks like no matter what happens, we'll get to Seth in a minute, but it looks like he won't be involved in what's going on here. I didn't particularly love his involvement at SummerSlam. I think it took away from what was a hot feud just between these two guys. So I'm okay with him Seth doing something else while these two guys start to again focus on each other and not have him in the way rooting, which probably would have been a great match at SummerSlam with his shenanigans as the referee. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people. There's been some debate on that match if it was if it was the right thing to do to have Seth in there at all. Did he ruin it? Did he not ruin it? Is it good that they didn't do too much so they could do more later? I don't know. My opinion is that it's SummerSlam, which is one of the bigger PLEs. So if you're going to do something, you do it there and not in Berlin. I'm sorry. I'd rather they do something at SummerSlam than in Berlin. I know there's still a Survivor Series coming up, and that is one of the bigger ones too. But and there's still plenty of time. I'm not saying that, but I mean, realistically, how long is this feud going to go? Is it going to go into next WrestleMania? I mean, potentially, I guess it could. But you know, I don't know. I think they could have done more at SummerSlam. But okay. Other than that, I mean, there's not really much to say. This was good, and it's going to continue to be good.
For this segment, it was basically just Drew McIntyre coming out, and he's not letting go of this. Even though he won, he's being an asshole, and he's just rubbing it in, basically, right? So I think that was awesome.
Well, I think he knew that Punk was never going to just let that go anyway, so he might as well struck first because there's no way Punk would have just been like, okay, well, I lost at SummerSlam thanks to Seth Rollins. Let's just call it. And that's it. My feud is done with Drew.
All right. Well, Robert's rating. Thank you, Vlad, for your comments. Robert's rating was the same as mine on this one. 2 thumbs up. So let's hear your comments here. If you got 2 minutes, if you don't want to use the whole 2 minutes, it's all right. But go ahead. The floor is yours.
So for starters, Seth Rollins came out without wearing something ridiculous for once. I think that in of itself deserves 2 thumbs up, just right there. Thank you. 2 thumbs up.
Nice.
So something not ridiculous. Okay. So that's a good start right there. Now I did get worried that the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud was gonna continue with involvement with Seth Rollins. Because I didn't want that to happen. But then as it turns out, so what happens later, I think that's not going to happen. So it's just going to be CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And I was pretty sure they were going to continue the feud between CM Punk and Drew because Drew still has the bracelet. Punk's just not just going to let that go, right? Also, and I did text you guys. I appreciated CM Punk's reference to Tombstone. So for those of you that don't know or never watched Tombstone, well, first of all, shame on you guys. But
it's a great movie.
Tombstone, in that movie, that's my favorite Western movie, and Val Kilmer, one of Val Kilmer's iconic roles, he plays as Doc Holliday, and his famous line from that movie is "I'll be your Huckleberry," and CM Punk references that when he said to Seth Rollins, "I'm not the one dressed up as a cowboy, but I'll be your Huckleberry." I love that. So yes, so thank you, Seth Rollins, for not coming out wearing something ridiculous. Thank you for apparently not being involved in the feud between CM Punk and Drew, and for the CM Punk Drew feud to continue, which is what I wanted to happen since Drew still has that bracelet. CM Punk's got to get it back somehow.
Yes, all right. So basically, Robert, you did spoil it for anybody who might have not known, but I'm sure if you're watching this, you have known already that something happened with Seth Rollins after this segment. Basically, right when Drew McIntyre ran away. Well, you know what? Let me start it from the beginning. I got to cover it from the beginning. If I'm going to talk about this whole Bronson Reed thing, it really started with the fact that Sheamus was facing Ludwig Kaiser earlier in the night. And this match, believe it or not, had massive implications for the night. You wouldn't have known it just from looking at it. But the fact that this match was on the card really irked Bronson Reed, because Bronson Reed didn't get on the card despite the fact that he beat Sheamus last week. So he shows up to Adam Pearce's office. He's like, what the fuck is up with that? You know, which is cool. I like that. He's serious about his wrestling. So he's like, you know what? If I'm not going to get opportunities, I'm going to, blaze my own trail, basically, is what he said. And we didn't really know what that meant. But later in the night, when this guy CM Punk was going out there to bloviate, waste time on the mic in front of everybody, and Seth Rollins came out and they were about to fight.
just one of the best promos in the business is just what the hell is he doing with
okay,
Mike?
Maybe
get him off quickly so we can focus on Bronson fucking Reed. Are you kidding me right now?
Well, maybe he's one of the best promos in the business, but that wasn't one of the best promos in the business.
Okay,
and thankfully,
but Jesus Christ.
Thankfully, Drew McIntyre came out to, talk some sense and reason amongst all these people. And, CM Punk got pissed off at him and ran off to fight him and left Seth Rollins in the ring. So this is where we left off in our last segment. So Bronson Reed shows up out of nowhere and blindsides Seth Rollins with his massive body and basically proceeds to give him like 500 tsunami bombs off the top rope again and again and again.
But
here's an example of what that looks like.
Yeah, that's a great looking move.
Yeah, and there's Seth Rollins selling it pretty well. So if I could just go through some images here for the lucky people on YouTube who are watching this, you get to see some pictures. If you're on audio podcast, I'll try to describe it to you, but basically Bronson Reed is this big, badass looking, huge monster guy with a bunch of tattoos. And all these people in suits and security are trying to get him out of the ring, but he's just not going to listen to them, and they can't stop him. And this is him. I don't know how many tsunami bombs he hit, but he went up there, I think, at least five or six times.
I want to say six, but I could be wrong.
And here's Seth Rollins spitting up blood. And obviously, he's going to get distracted with this, and this is going to take him away from the whole CM Punk thing. But, all right. So who would have thought Bronson Reed showing up on our top 5 angles this week, because we only give time to really 5 angles on our show because we don't have time. But here he is, Bronson Reed. All right. Well, Robert, you gave this segment a thumbs up, just the beatdown on Seth Rollins. You want to make any comments about it?
It was cool. I mean, it was also a surprise. I did not expect this. I had no idea this was coming, so,
So why not 2 thumbs up?
Huh?
Why not 2 thumbs up? You didn't think this was a really fantastic segment? I was very impressed by it, especially with Michael Cole.
I just thought it was good. It was good and it was surprising. It wasn't like I wasn't floored by it, but it was just really good. I don't really have much else to add. And I don't know if it looks like is this a way to. I'm not sure if this is a way to write off Seth Rollins from TV for a while, or if they're gonna.
Well, he's gonna have a match with Bronson Reed now.
Well, at some point, yeah. But I heard that Seth Rollins is hurt, from what I heard.
Yeah.
So maybe this was their way of writing him off, I think.
Okay. All right. Robert, not floored by this scene. What about Vlad? Vlad gave this 2 thumbs up, just like me. So.
I definitely love this scene. Maybe because I've been waiting for someone to beat the shit out of Seth Rollins for like
Man, we're just like bashing him today
for like 3 years. But this was fantastic. I mean, he just walloped him, man. 6 of those. First of all, those are devastating looking moves. That's a great looking move. Fantastic. I like Reed a lot. I mean, they haven't done a lot of stuff with him, or as much as you could with him. He's a he could be a great heelish big. I think, or at least traditionally, just by the look of him, like I just think of like the territory days, or maybe even like the 90s, like in the mid 90s, he would have been like a monster heel type personality. I don't know, but they haven't done enough with him yet. But this could be the beginning of something, and I like that. And it was really great how he just proceeded to beat the crap out of him, the internal bleeding part of it. Now, again, like
and
Robert
the commentator sold it too, huh?
Well, the thing is with the commentary, Michael Cole, since Vince McMahon is no longer with the company and not in his ear, has been great, pretty much great. Now that he doesn't have Vince McMahon in his ear, so I mean, I know Michael Cole used to take a lot of crap, and he's not really good. He's not really good, and he just says whatever. But he's only been saying what Vince wanted him to say. But now that Vince is not in his ear, he's been a lot better. I mean, there's no. I mean, anybody can see that. So yeah, Michael Cole's been great, and he made this thing really, really impactful, which was the point of it. It was supposed to get this guy over. And it did. It did. I mean, or at least it made you interested to see what happens next with him. Now, yeah, it looks like Seth's going to be injured, maybe based on some of the talk going on around wrestling community. But you would assume once he comes back that this would be right. You got to go back. You got to fight the guy that injured you, right? So either way, eventually it's going to lead to something.
Well, do you think it's really going to lead to anything for Bronson Reed, Vlad, or is this just going to be a thing where they feed him to Seth so Seth can get a win?
I don't know. I mean, well, that's a good point. I mean, is he just going to end up jobbing to Seth eventually anyways? Maybe, but maybe not for a while. But maybe they could build him up in the meantime, you know? So at least get him on TV and get him some wins and let him be that monster heel that he could be. He's got a great look, and he can definitely work. He moves amazing for a big guy. Tremendous.
Yeah.
And he just looks like a badass, right? With he's a big, bulky, tattooed, badass-looking motherfucker. That's what when you see somebody like that, right? I'm sorry, I don't really want to cuss too much. I know, but you just look at the guy. That's what you think of when you see him. So I don't know. That's what I would push him.
Yeah, and I've liked his promos. I've liked his promos and his backstage stuff with Adam Pearce. I think he looks serious and. He doesn't treat the business like a joke, so I think he deserves a little push. We'll see what can happen from that. But anyways, I'm going to move on to just one topic from AEW this week, because we do cover WWE and AEW, but this week I'm only going to do one angle from AEW, because WWE is really the hot stuff at the moment. We might not even cover AEW really, but they're hanging on. They're hanging on. A lot less viewers these days, but the one angle I want to cover is the MJF stuff, because he's there to face...
The only thing worth covering.
Yeah, I guess. The MJF stuff with Kyle Fletcher. Well, he's feuding with Will Ospreay, who's there, I think, watching the match today. Kyle Fletcher is his best friend from the United Empire stable. But Kyle Fletcher came to prevent a beatdown from MJF on Ospreay last week, so that's led to this match today. Of course, MJF and Ospreay to face off at All in London in, I think, a couple weeks, which is going to be great. Here's Kyle Fletcher. Robert, I know you didn't watch this. You don't have to give a rating, but, if you want to just listen or give whatever comments you want to about what happened on this angle today. But good match. They had a banger of a match, as they say, right, Vlad? A really good match. Hard-fought match.
That's me, man.
MJF.
I have a point about that. Don't worry.
Oh, you'll have 2 minutes, but give me a minute to go through this.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm going to let you do your thing. Go ahead.
So the end of the match, MJF won, and he... here's Ospreay in the back. I guess he was trapped in his room. So somebody put something in front of the door, and he pushes it. He just kind of pushes it a little bit, and it's like a trunk, right? It's got wheels. So it wasn't that hard for him to really get out of that room. But anyways, this leaves time in the ring for MJF to proceed to beat the living shit out of fucking Kyle Fletcher and leave him laying, hit him with the diamond ring, and just beat his face in. Repeatedly. Sorry, I lost my bookmark. Give me 1 second. There it is. There's him beating his face in. Sorry. My mouse is giving me troubles today. But okay, so here's Kyle Fletcher. And basically, I think the people around this match tried to really sell that Kyle Fletcher was really hurt from this, because Ospreay does make it to the ring eventually. Took a long time. Right before right after MJF was going to give Fletcher the Tiger Driver 91, right? The move that's basically banned, but Will Ospreay came out and chased him off, and here he is calling for a doctor, like his little buddy's dead. You know, he's like holding him, hugging him. He's like, come on. I think I even heard somebody say, my God, I think he's killed him. Like somebody.
One of the commentators said that?
No, somebody like around there, like somebody in the ring. Like, I
didn't hear that, but if they did, that's phenomenal.
Well, should we look for that? Do you guys want to hear it? Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
If you can find it, I'd like to hear.
Hold on, let's listen for it.
Okay.
Since
here, do you know when they said it? Do you have?
It's like somewhere around here, but let's listen carefully, guys.
I can't even believe that. Kyle! Check his neck! Dr. Michael Sampson obviously checking on Kyle Fletcher. Ospreay.
They said, "Oh my God, they've killed Kyle." Did you hear it?
No, I barely
hear it.
I heard.
I guess I misheard it. Here.
Check his neck!
Oh yeah, I heard it. I heard it now. Yeah. Oh my God, they killed Kyle. I heard.
They did not kill Kyle. He eventually got up. But anyways, all right. I'm gonna move on to the only guy on our panel who actually watched Dynamite this week. That would be Robert.
No, it wasn't me.
That would be Vlad.
Sorry, that would be Vlad. Yes, Vlad. What did you give this segment? You gave it half a thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah.
For this angle with MJF and Ospreay today.
Yeah, there were good things that they tried to do, but they again couldn't get. I think I said in the little post, that you posted, they couldn't get out of their own way here. They as much as they try to get this thing over, they keep doing dumb and silly things. Okay, first, right? They have this long competitive match, but Fletcher, what's his first name?
Kyle.
Fletcher. Kyle. Duh, they killed Kyle, right? Kyle Fletcher. I was thinking of, oh my God, they killed Kenny.
South Park.
South Park, yeah. But anyways, I was about to call him Kenny. That's why I couldn't remember his name. That's how much. So anyways, He has this long competitive match with Kyle Fletcher, which is insane because who has Fletcher been? What has he been doing? Why is he having this 30-minute classic with MJF? So that already kind of turned me off. This should have been like a 10-minute thing at most, and MJF should have dominated the majority of it and then left him bloody. The part of leaving him bloody was fine. And then they go to the back to Ospreay, who's stuck in his room, in his own locker room, I guess, or whatever. But then he just simply pushes his way out of this role. Okay, it looked ridiculous, and it looked like literally a kid put that in there, or something like that. And then it takes him. My grandma could have gotten to the ring faster than this motherfucker did. Okay, it took him 10 minutes to get back to save Kyle. MJF could have injured him, left the ring 10 times over by the time this guy made it to there. So my grandma, who's 90 plus years old, could have gotten there faster than Will Ospreay did. Anyways, they can't get out of their own way. They're trying to do something good, and I see what they were trying to do, but again, because it's AEW, it's still silly and dumb, and that's all I got.
Yeah, I also gave it half a thumbs up. I was hoping for something else from this scene completely.
Yeah,
I was hoping Fletcher would turn on Ospreay, and then they could have a breakup, and then they could have one epic match before All In, just to prove that, Ospreay is like really good. But once they had a banger match and Kyle Fletcher really, really tried hard against MJF, then I thought, it's probably impossible that he's going to turn on him after this point. So anyways, okay.
So does that mean that Callis is the one that put the thing on for Ospreay? Is that your guess, that Callis is involved in this? Did he put the thing to block Ospreay from coming in?
No, I guess that could be. That would be kind of not bad writing, but I don't suspect that. I suspect it was just MJF or somebody that MJF paid, because
Nah, bro, it wasn't. It was not. I mean, it could have been MJF. That's true, but I think it was
because MJF was also the one that cut his tires a couple weeks ago, right? It's supposedly, unless that was Don Callis too. You're saying, right?
Well, I don't know, but don't remind me of that. So another silly segment.
This has got to be MJ. I don't think it's that clever that it's Don Callis and that Don Callis is going to have. I mean, that would be good if Don Callis turns on Ospreay at the pay-per-view, and then at least that gives it a little different ending. But okay.
I think for sure it's done because he was yelling at Ospreay like, "Hey, where were you? Where were you?" Making it like, you know, like, hey. So then Kyle could be like, "Oh, you know, why was he late? You know, he didn't really give a shit about you at all. Like, he let you get your ass kicked," type of deal. I don't know, something like that. That's my thinking with this one.
All right, well, that's all. Those are our 5 main topics. So that was 2 minutes each for you guys. So I'm going to move on to the rest of the show, a little more rapid fire. You only get 1 minute each for everything from now on. So we're trying to finish off the rest of the angles here real quick. We're at 45 minutes on the show. I'm trying to keep it to an hour. So let's see if we could do that. So the next thing I got is we're going to jump back to Monday Night Raw from Monday on the 5th, August 5th. And it was the opening segment was Gunther coming out, because Gunther won the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam, so he was the opening segment, so he got to open the show. And the guy that came to step up to him was Randy Orton. A little bit of a surprise, because he's not really even supposed to be a Raw wrestler, but he did face Gunther at the King of the Ring final, and he made mention that the referee counted 3 even though his shoulder wasn't really down. So I guess somehow he ended up getting this title shot. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. They just kind of ignored it.
So the ref it was a mess. It was like a mess up again. It was one of those things.
There was a controversy regarding that. The result of that match.
Yeah, that's true. I do remember that. So that makes sense. Okay, so somehow, you know, the general managers teamed up or management teamed up, and they think Orton deserves this shot. So 2 really good-looking superstars here. They gave a lot of good looks to each other, you know, dramatic facials and whatnot. So there you go. And the one thing that they said was they came really close to each other to talk. And how did Gunther say it, Robert? Did he say?
He said, I don't know, something to the effect of like, I can see everything coming.
Oh, I see everything coming. Yeah, the RKO comes out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, you're not gonna get me with something coming out of nowhere. And Orton said, no, I'm not. This time I want you to see it coming. So he's gonna give the RKO not out of nowhere, but like just straight to his face this time. That's the plan for the angle, I guess. So all right, who did I start with? I started with Vlad last time, so I'll start with Robert this time. Your rating on this segment was 2 thumbs up. You like this? Okay.
Yes,
what do you?
I love this.
What do you say?
So Gunther continuing his fantastic heel work as usual. I love it. He looked really sharp in this segment.
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton, a SmackDown wrestler, showing up out of nowhere on Raw.
Nice.
Yeah, like they're the same. Like I forgot that. Are they even the same company? That's amazing. I know, right?
But yes, I love that. I love the surprise that it was Orton that came out to challenge him. I liked their first match, the one in the was it the King and Queen of the Ring or whatever that's what it was, right?
Right.
I love their first match, and I remember the controversy. So they never addressed it, you know, since then until now. So it's good that they remember that they didn't just not address it. So I'm looking forward to the rematch.
All right, Vlad's rating on this was also 2 thumbs up. Okay, you want to give any comments about this, Vlad?
Yeah, I mean, of course I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised because I wasn't sure who Gunther was going to work with, honestly, because I figured everybody else would be preoccupied. So I wasn't sure what they were going with. So Orton is a great pick. Obviously, he is not going to beat Gunther, especially in Germany. That's not going to happen. So where I think Gunther will, I assume, will be cheered even as a heel. I mean, it is his. I mean, for the most, it is his home country, right? So I don't know.
I heard he's Austrian. I don't know if is that the same thing?
It's not exactly.
They
they're
speak
very they're almost the same language. Yeah, it's like very close. Like they're right next to each other type of deal. You know, it's kind of like I want to say maybe Russia Ukraine is a bad example right now, but you know what I mean.
Oh, you took it there.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, look. Randy Orton said, "I'm gonna beat you in your home country." So whatever. Whether he was disrespecting him just to say, "Who cares? I don't even know what your home country is" or whatever. But all right, I gave this a thumbs up. I didn't give it 2 thumbs up. Just like Robert said earlier, it didn't shatter the world for me, but it was okay. Let me jump to SmackDown though, because the same thing happened. We're trying to figure out who the WWE champion is gonna face. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. I think I got his bookmark here. Oh, here he is. All right. So here's that low-life Cody Rhodes coming in like with that world title that he thinks he deserves, that he wants. Look at him looking at like holding it like he deserves that title. Anyways, so he's coming in here with all this gumption like he's the one who's going to decide who his next opponent's going to be, his next title defense, which obviously Solo had to come in and let him know that he's going to take care of him, but he has to go take care of Roman first. We discussed that earlier in the show. It's a separate segment that we're going to talk about the Solo and Roman stuff. But anyways, KO was in the ring with Cody because he's the one who came to help him in case things got physical. If there was an altercation with the Samoans, but there wasn't. But Cody brings KO into the ring and tells him that he wants to face him next for the title. He wants to give KO a title shot. And KO's like, no, I don't deserve it. You know, my win-loss record hasn't been that good, and that he should give it to someone. And look at Cody's face here with his, like, what the hell? Who turns down a title shot? What the fuck? Anyways, so Cody insists, he's like, I'm going to go to the back and talk to the GM and try to get you this match. And they go to the back, and KO's still, like, being like, you know, he doesn't want to do it, that someone else probably deserves it more. And then Nick Aldis says that he was going to talk to Roman about getting the next title shot, and then that's when KO said, wait, if it's going to be fucking Roman, then I'll do it, because, you know, he doesn't think Roman deserves it either. So there's that segment. So, all right. What did Vlad give this? Vlad gave this a thumbs up. All right, so let's hear your comments about this whole thing with Cody and KO being the next WWE title match.
I mean, I gave it a thumbs up because of the people involved. I like Cody. I'm starting to like KO at times. I like KO at times. Like, sometimes I can't stand him, and sometimes I really like him. So it just depends on the mood, the situation, and what's going on. But, you know, it's going to be a good match. Obviously, there's no way Owens is going to beat Cody. So at this Berlin Bash, or whatever they're calling it, the Bash of Berlin, or whatever this pay-per-view is. I think that's right, Bash of Berlin. But it's, you know, it's 2 main star wrestlers. It should be pretty good. I don't really have much more to add to it than that. It should be a good match, and there's not really a lot of, you know, it's 2 faces facing each other. So I mean,
well, what do you think of how the whole match came together? Like, oh, I want to give you a title shot. You deserve it. You're my friend.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like it was a well thought out thing, you know. This is not really a hot angle, that's for sure.
All right, well, you gave it a thumbs up here. Robert gave it half a thumbs up, so he's even less hot for it than you are. All right, Robert, let's hear your thoughts about this.
Yeah, I gave it a half thumbs up. Just
an Orange Cassidy thumbs up for those.
Yes, an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Correct. Yeah,
kind of. It means you kind of liked it on our scale.
Yeah, only because I like the people involved. Just like what Vlad said, but my issue with this is I don't understand this angle about, you know, the reluctant challenger. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that.
Isn't Kevin Owens' slogan "Fight Owens, fight"? Isn't that what it is? And now he's gonna be like, "Oh, I don't deserve it." Like, what? There's been nothing in the past in his history that would suggest that he would have turned down a title shot. That's just inconsistent to me, like, for his character, and especially, you know, like I mentioned, for his slogan. So I'm a little confused by that, and also whenever it's a babyface versus babyface feud, those can be a little bit tricky. It's like, who are you supposed to root for, right? I don't know. So I don't think this is a great angle, but I still gave it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up because of the potential, considering the people involved in this angle. So yeah, that's it.
All right, my rating, which hasn't been released yet, but I'll try to release the SmackDown ratings by morning, but I gave it a thumbs down. This is my first thumbs down for Cody Rhodes angle. I don't like this at all. I'm just going to give you this title shot. You're my friend. You deserve it. We're going to be two good guys just trying to have a banger of a match.
I'm gonna leave and come right back. The sound went out again. Sorry.
It's all right. Go ahead. We're almost done anyways. All right. Well, Vlad, I don't like Cody versus KO unless KO turns heel. Unless somehow he turns he goes, you know what? I got to turn to the dark side just to really. Oh, here comes Robert. Robert's back.
Sorry.
Yeah, Robert. I was telling Vlad that
I saw your thumbs down, but I don't know what you said.
I basically said that I think like Vlad was saying, it's not a creative angle unless Kevin Owens is gonna turn heel and pull some evil out to have to like go through this match. But otherwise, I think it was too weird, and I'm not really excited to see a babyface versus babyface, good guy versus good guy matchup.
And it just seems like it's like a stopgap because they're doing this like less. It's a PLE in Germany. Like it's not really. It's a first time thing, so they're not really. It doesn't seem like they're really going all out based on this match since there's no real history. But these two guys should actually be feuding. It's not like some sort of blood war. It's just a match that they put together that we know Cody's going to win. So
and it's going to be a banger.
It could be a banger, but that's like AEW. Like save the bangers for AEW. WWE should focus on angles first, and then having the bangers.
They have bangers too sometimes in WWE.
WWE has plenty of bangers, but I'm saying focus on the angle and the story for it to make sense. All
right, two more things, guys. Two more little angles, and I'll let you guys go. So we're gonna do two things from Monday Night Raw from the 5th. One of them was the Wyatt Sicks. So the Wyatts had their first tag team match. You didn't like this? Come on, man. Well, look, Vlad's been not a fan of this angle, but I thought this angle smacked on this day. I thought it was cool. First, they had a video package. Come on, Vlad, have some respect for the dead here. Bray Wyatt, come on. This is in respect to Bray Wyatt, man. This is nice. This whole thing with them, it's like a good tribute to him. And this was like the first town where the Wyatts like had a match originally, and they showed the original Wyatt family, and then interspersed that with clips of the new Wyatts and Bo Dallas. So I thought it was cool. I thought they did a good job with that. Oh, and Chad Gable's new group is also called American Made now. Robert, I don't know what you think of that, but anyways, they had a match. It was a regular match. It's more spooky when they come in, but Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, this was their introduction to the main roster as part of the Wyatt Sicks. There they are, and they won the match, and it was nice. Honestly, I thought it worked. I thought the point of it was just a little tribute to Bray Wyatt, and for some reason, when it works, it works. I gave this a thumbs up, and Robert gave it half a thumbs up. Do you have any comments you want to make, Robert? If you don't, it's cool, but
I gave it half a thumbs up because I thought Eric Rowan looked incredible in this match. He was very impressive, personally. But my issue is, after all this anticipation of their in-ring debut, the build-up toward this match, they should have made them look a little more dominant. This was a very competitive match. The anticipation for their in-ring debut, they should have, for their first match, they should have looked more impressive as a group than what they did in this match. But Eric Rowan looked great. I don't
think they're going to be a dominant stable, though. Sorry to take part of your time here, but I think they're just going to be a normal stable. This is just their introduction, They had a cool introduction, but I don't think they're going to be anything special in terms of they're going to be like dominating. But they're a nice team. They look cool, and that's about it. So on this night, I thought it was kind of emotional. It was supposed to be emotional, and I teared up a little bit, man. Every time we think of Bray Wyatt, it's very weird and strange to think about it. And this is what we got left. So I got to say that I liked it. But anyways, Vlad, if you don't want to comment on this, I can move on to the last angle of the day, or if you have anything to say.
I'll just be quick. I'm not trying to dishonor anybody's memory here. I'm not trying to be an asshole. But
yeah, no, I wasn't saying that.
But this was just, I've been critical of this whole thing since the beginning because it's all spooky zombie horror show movie type stuff that's not really realistic and really doesn't belong in wrestling. I mean, if they want to try to get this thing over, they should have put them in NXT first and seen how the reaction to it instead of going straight to Raw. I just don't see this as something that has longevity and you can really do much with. I mean, they're not that impressive in the ring. I know Eric Rowan looked great. Let's say he did. I didn't really pay enough attention to say one way or the other if he did. But I mean, first of all, they've ruined Chad Gable for me again. He's back to being like a joke. He was starting to get over for me, and now
I like American Made, man. This is a good idea for a team.
I guess, but what if they're going to just job to this group? So what's there to like at this point? They're just going to end up losing all these matches.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a long-standing feud. Maybe they can get some heat. Maybe there'll be a day where they get over on them.
Oh, okay, we'll see. But I think if they have to job 100 matches to these guys, I don't think it's going to help Chad Gable. I'll tell you that much right now. But anyway,
all right.
all I got.
Let's move on to the last angle of the day. These guys are the last guys to get on our show today. The rest of the angles, if you guys want reviews on our on Raw and SmackDown and Dynamite, comprehensive reviews, you could go to our YouTube posts and we cover all the angles there. Thumbs up, thumbs down, some comments. But the last people to make it on our main podcast this week is Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn. So basically, Bron Breakker just cut a very serious promo backstage talking about how he's going to try to keep this title forever and take it seriously. And on the other end, Jey Uso was talking to Sami Zayn, who didn't seem very confident about their rematch this coming Monday, which is going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. But yeah, he seemed a little apprehensive about this. But let's see what our ratings were. All three of us, thumbs up. So we like this. I definitely like Bron Breakker's promo. But I'll start with Vlad this time. 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't think I even need a minute. This is going to be, I mean, the match I'm excited for, the 2 out of 3 falls, I'm sure they're going to put up a very, very interesting, very creative type match. Sammy's a tremendous worker. And Braun is just the next big thing in wrestling. I'm just counting down the moment till Paul Heyman manages him at some point in the future. But
nice
yeah,
idea.
I think that's gonna happen down the line. I mean, they've already teased it when he was in his corner at NXT, right? But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's just focus on this for now. It's going to be good, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, I think Braun's going to win, but we'll see what that means for Sami, I guess, more than anything, because it just means that Braun moves on and will face new challengers, I believe, and we'll see what they do with Sami. We'll be fine regardless. He'll be fine. He's already over. His character's already over, so he has nothing to worry about if he loses.
All right, let's get our comments from Robert right here. Robert, what do you think of them making Sami Zayn's character a little scared to enter this match? Sami Zayn, who has been in world title matches with Roman Reigns.
It's true.
Okay, well, I think that still makes sense. Well, given what WWE is trying to do with Bron Breakker, they're trying to build him up to be a monster heel, which so far they've done a very good job of, right? So I don't mind it at all. And the promo was good. It's believable, like for him to say all the things that he said. Like, let's see someone step up to the plate and prove him wrong, right? So I think I did give it a thumbs up. Right?
Yeah, you gave this.
Yeah, so yes. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I like it, and I do think Bron Breakker is gonna retain the title. I don't think that's going to come off him anytime soon.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I liked it too. I definitely like Bron Breakker's promo. I just thought it was a little strange that they're making Sami Zayn a little scared here. I don't know what that's going to lead to for him, like a period of his career where he's just unsure of himself or something. But I don't know.
Maybe Robert's right. Maybe he'll be part of this bloodline.
The new bloodline. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That could be cool. That could
maybe Robert was on target.
Yeah, that if that happens, Robert, we will be sure to make mention that you were the first guy to mention that here. We have it on record. But all right then. If anyone has anything else to say about anything, from this week, now's the time. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up our show. I think it was a good show today. Thank you guys, for being on. And I think that's it. All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Well, be sure to subscribe. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Sorry, I was thinking for a second there. That's what I needed to tell people. Yeah, I got to remind people to subscribe. Tell your friends.
We want subscribers, Jesus.
If you need, if you need money, let us know. Just text us or send us an email. We'll send you money.
Again with this, and it's gonna be my number, my email again.
No, I'm kidding though. We're not gonna send you money.
Okay.
But if you guys, if anyone out there needs, something to do while they're at work or driving home, definitely catch us on our podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Castbox. That's another one that I like. I think that one's really easy to use. So we're up on there, and put us on whenever you're bored. So don't forget about us. All right, guys, thank you for being on the show this week. We'll see you guys next week.